Hey guys, how's it going? Stormwind here, back again pretty quickly with another video. This is just a little collection update video, so it's not multiple items, it's just one particular item, but I thought it would be a good feature for an episode. This particular order I got a couple of weeks ago, it arrived, and I showed it on Facebook and Instagram to some people, people who follow me there. And I got some questions from people about it, like, oh, where did you get that? Because this album's quite rare, so I thought, it's worthy of an episode, just in its own right. So basically talking about this particular item. So that's what I'm going to do today, just talking about this box set order I got. So the band in question is a Swedish black metal band, none other than VINTERLAND. And this particular box set, it's about that, well, their only full-length album, that legendary album they did called Welcome My Last Chapter. So without further ado, I'll just show it. I'll give the details later, but just to introduce this, I got the order from Temple of Darkness Productions, which is based in Spain, and I got it via mail order. So for those interested, I think this is still available, but I would advise being quick because this is a pretty rare album, so it'll go quite fast. But anyway, I'll just show you the box set. It's a really nice package. It comes in this cardboard box kind of thing with a kind of rough material, and it says there in the script, so VINTERLAND, Welcome My Last Chapter, 15-year-old blood. Because this particular box set was made in 2010, that's when the album was 15 years old. So the album came out in 1995, recorded in Unisound Studios, produced by Dan Swaino? I'm not sure, but yeah. Anyway, just that one album, so it's pretty easy to track that. But this is what the package looks like anyway. So on the back you've got all of the song titles there. And they've sort of made it look like an old mail package, as you can see here with the smudges and everything. And just up here you've got like a Swedish stamp. This is the original album cover art. Sorry about the shitty camera, you probably can't see that well. To be honest, I much prefer the original artwork, but for some reason they don't include it on this, but doesn't matter because I'm just happy to have the album. And then here they've made it look like a stamp. It says Sverige Kvicksund. So Sverige meaning Sweden, of course. Kvicksund is, I believe, the town that they're from, that VINTERLAND are from. So yeah, they make it look like a personalized mail package. Basically then it's got this flip top box, which is kind of hard to open. Come on. Oh, there we go. All right. So it's got a couple of goodies inside, but basically here is the package. This is the alternate cover up, as I mentioned. So just the V for VINTERLAND. And this is upside down. But yep, that's what the disc looks like there. And just showing you the booklet. So basically this comes on this kind of rough paper as well, sort of like recycled paper. I think they're doing that for aesthetic value. And yeah, it's got a nice booklet with rare photos. So here's that iconic photo of the band. And it says here, all photos by VINTERLAND taken between 1993 and 1996. Okay. And so what do you have in the booklet? They've just got samples of the lyrics and some old photos, which is cool. And a collage of old photos with the band. Some live shots, nature photos, stuff like that. More lyrics. And just the personnel information. By the way, this photo here, it says Kvicksund 1995. So you see there's a Swedish landscape in there. Very fitting considering the sound and the nature of this album. And here they have the personnel listing, like who does what in the band. So it was a three-piece band. And it says here, keyboards played by Dan Swaino, and So Far Beyond and Wings of Sorrow played by Jonas Hermansson. So some session musicians, but essentially a three-member band, three-piece band. And this band, it's really weird. After this particular album, they split up, just one single album, and that was it. Which is bizarre because this is such a brilliant album. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I know a lot of people say, yeah, what a shame that happened, but I'm not sure the reason why. Maybe it was due to bad label support or bad promotion, something like that, but the music is just absolutely stellar, so I have no idea. It certainly wasn't, that couldn't have been the reason that they broke up. But yeah, in another sense, it's kind of cool that they released one album and stopped, because it's like, I almost feel this album is perfect. It's a perfect melodic black metal album, so it's almost like you can't improve on perfect, so it's kind of stylish, like do one album and then stop. But having said that, they have resurrected in recent years, I think maybe in 2010, 2011, so they're active again, except I don't think they've released anything else, just 2 demos in this album, 2 demos before this album. So I think maybe they're just touring as a live band now. I know they played some shows at Maryland Death Fest and other festivals, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's an ongoing thing or they're just touring as a live band now. But anyway, great that they're back. So yes, this is the package. By the way, the paper has a nice smell to it too. So I don't know, it's got a really good sort of like, I don't know, earthy aesthetic. So there you go. And just looking in the box here, it comes with some other goodies. So it's got a little kind of porous material, like shiny, glossy material here. This is a certificate of authenticity that it comes with. So it says, Temple of Darkness Records certifies that Vinterland, Welcome My Last Chapter, 15 Years Old Blood, was produced exclusively in a limited quantity of only 2,000 units. You are the owner of one of the 2,000 copies in worldwide circulation. The product was made in Europe in 2010. Yeah, so limited to 2,000 copies. And also comes with this Vinterland sticker. Very nice. And also with a sort of art paper fold-out poster of the band. So again, that iconic classic shot of the band, and it's just got the title of the release here. So it says, Vinterland, Welcome My Last Chapter, 15-Year-Old Blood. So very cool. Just folds up. All right. So that's for the contents of the box set. So in terms of the album, I'm sure many of you have heard it. In my last video, when I responded to the metal tag, I actually mentioned this album as one which was introduced to me by the VC community. And you would have heard me say that it was Motley Crue Forever, that channel, Nick. He always mentioned this as his favorite band, and as I mentioned in that video, I followed this kind of music since I was in my mid-teens, but this band always passed me by until I watched his channel, so I really appreciate him introducing me to this. Like, when I first heard it, I just thought, brilliant album, 10 out of 10. If you're not familiar with this album, how it sounds, as I mentioned in the last video, it's just very bleak, sorrowful, melancholic black metal. Like, but melodic, so bands that I would compare them to are definitely Dissection and Sacramentum. They sort of like took elements of those bands and just accentuated them. So like I think Sacramentum is sort of faster and more aggressive, but this band really emphasized the melancholic and bleak sounding aspect. So sort of like the album, which I think must have been a big inspiration for this, was the Somberlain, which is what's playing in the background now. That's why I chose it. But like, you know how the Somberlain was sort of slower and more reflective, you know, than Storm of the Light's Bane, which was more fast and aggressive. But at the same time, this band really, it just takes those melancholic aspects of Dissection and really turns it into something else. Like, they really emphasize that, so all songs are mournful, sorrowful, got a bleak atmosphere, but as I said in the last video, strangely majestic and beautiful. It's like, just the melodies, they're sort of longing, yearning, you know, like with misery and depression and everything, but it makes me picture the landscapes of Nordic countries like Sweden in winter or something. No surprise, Vinterland. So yeah, it's a very evocative album, like very emotional, and just literally, it's certainly one of those albums where you listen to it from beginning to end. Like, this is a whole package album. Having said that though, like, we usually have our favorite tracks, don't we? But this album is 10 out of 10, so I'm not going to do a track-by-track breakdown, otherwise we'll be here all night, so I'll spare you of that. But I'll just mention like highlights to me. Literally every song is brilliant, but my favorites are track 4, which is A Castle So Crystal Clear. It just has some really majestic, soaring keyboard parts in that song, and it's sort of akin to or reminiscent of the Enthroned song, Dusk of Forgotten Darkness. If you haven't heard that Enthroned song, check it out, but just with these really soaring, majestic keyboards where it's just like monumental and so epic and atmospheric. It's unbelievable. So I love that song, A Castle So Crystal Clear. And then my other favorite track would be track 5, As I Behold the Dying Sun. Got some clean guitars, not acoustic guitars, but clean guitars, but just these amazingly bleak and sorrowful melodies, and like just, it's a masterpiece, that song. I think that would be possibly my favorite song on the album, actually, As I Behold the Dying Sun. Just check it out, either of those tracks to get you started. My other favorite track would be track 9, Wings of Sorrow. That's just a really slow, melancholic closer, very atmospheric, and just one with that appropriate fitting tone and feeling of sadness and reflection to complete the album. But like, I just remember when I first heard this album, I was just left floored, like, wow, that's a masterpiece. Like, seriously, it's 10 out of 10. So, as I've mentioned, comparable to Dissection and Sacramentum, so like raspy vocals and everything. Most of it is like the Somberlain, it's sort of like slow to mid-pace, but they do have fast blast beat sections as well. The vocals are really sort of like harsh and shrieked, but not too high-pitched, which I like. So like, again, like Dissection and Sacramentum, sometimes when bands sing with too high a pitch and they sound like they're crying a river, it can be really annoying to me. But yeah, the vocals are just perfect. Guitar tone, everything, the production. So maybe that's due to Dan Swaino and Unisound, but when I know that studio had some problems, but the mix I feel on this album is perfect. Like, you can hear every instrument, every element clearly. The keyboards aren't too high in the mix, but they lift the melodies, and it's just a really majestic, brilliant atmosphere. So you just can't go wrong with this. I won't go on about it too much longer, but yeah, those 3 tracks are my favorite: A Castle So Crystal Clear, As I Behold the Dying Sun, and Wings of Sorrow. Interestingly, they also include a cover of Mayhem's Freezing Moon. So I know some of you might be thinking, oh, again, like so many bands do that. And admittedly, I felt the same thing. I was going, another cover of Freezing Moon. Don't get me wrong, I love Mayhem, and Freezing Moon is actually my favorite song by them, particularly the Dead version. And when I heard this, you have to remember that this was recorded in '95, so at that time, the black metal world wasn't saturated with so many Freezing Moon covers. And I think the other song that a lot of modern bands cover to death is Death Crush. It's like always Death Crush or Freezing Moon. And yes, Mayhem were of course a strong influence, but I think it's just been overkilled by a lot of bands. Anyway, this band did it right back in the day. Their cover is very true and authentic to the original version with Dead, even the vocals and everything. So I think the Dead version, like, with all due respect to Attila, I like that version of the song too, but just the original version with Dead, with those vocals, it's just so creepy and eerie and atmospheric. So they don't do a carbon copy of it, but they're doing, it's sort of like kind of a tribute, I think. So very good cover of Freezing Moon anyway. So yeah, what can I say? Brilliant album, followed by a brilliant cover. Check it out. So as I mentioned, the company that I got this from was Temple of Darkness Records, which are based in Spain. So I think if you look them up online, you can find them pretty easily. I'm pretty sure this package is still available, but as I said, it's probably going fast, so if you're interested, check it out. I can't remember the exact price. It was pretty reasonable. I had to pay a bit for postage, but I think overall it's definitely worth it when you get this whole beautiful box set and a rare album. I think it was quite a reasonable price. For something rare, I don't mind paying that, so yeah, that's great. So that's all I have to mention. If you haven't heard this band, definitely check them out, they're brilliant. And if you like melancholic and melodic black metal, especially Swedish black metal, definitely jump on this, you won't be disappointed. As I mentioned, the album that's playing in the background is The Somberlain by Dissection. That was a conscious choice because it's sort of similar in style, so I thought I'd be in theme with that. And that's about it, guys. So once again, thanks a lot to all the new subscribers who have joined recently. Thanks very much and welcome. I appreciate people continuing to follow the channel and leave comments. Remember, always feel free to leave comments. It's always good to generate some discussion about these topics. Thanks for your support, and I hope you keep watching. Don't forget to like and comment, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.